are continuing now with our coverage in the Judge Jumper attempted murder trial in Las Vegas. The judge's law clerk is on the stand testifying about the attack. So let's head back to court.
Not even moving. I think she was in a state of shock at the time. And you know, he was yelling things at her. He was saying things to her, and I couldn't make out anything that he was saying because I was actually in turn screaming at him and saying, "Get off the judge! Get off the judge! What are you doing?" You know, I was like, "What's wrong with you? Get off the judge!" And I remember vividly just how strong Mr. Redden was. I mean, this guy, he is unbelievably strong and much bigger than me. So I'm trying to wrestle him and get him off, and he is glued to her like a magnet, like an actual magnet. Like I couldn't pry him off of her. And it actually
Excuse me.
I'm sorry.
Where was he grabbing her at that time?
Same thing. It kind of just the hair and right here. So, and would not let go. Like was just stuck on her.
And you indicated that he was right in her face, approximately how far?
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't get any closer. I mean, like almost like touching noses. I mean, like this. And
I'm sorry, could you turn that?
Yeah, almost like this. I mean, literally like this, like yelling at her, saying things at her. This is when he had kind of twisted her, and I'm on his back, and they're almost this close, like
So
face to face.
Approximately like 3 to 6 inches apart, maybe?
Yeah, I'd say so, maybe even closer. And they are close, and she's completely unresponsive, just petrified, just completely, like I said, just a state of shock.
Had you ever seen Judge Holthus in that state before?
Oh, never in my life. I've never seen her, let alone really anyone. I mean, she was frozen solid. And just, I mean, it was, like I said, I mean, it was unbelievable to see, especially coming from her. And I've known her a long time, and I've never seen anything like that.
Generally speaking, would you say that she is a timid person or a strong person?
Absolutely a strong person, very strong person. You know, strong personality, really tough. You know, not much can really rattle her, but I've never seen her like that, ever.
And you indicated that he was screaming things at her. You don't have any recollection of specific statements he was making?
I have none. Honestly, some of it, you know, you can't even hear much because so much adrenaline kicks in. It's like everything kind of goes silent. I remember just him saying things to her, and I remember saying things to him, but I can't really make out anything that was said.
What was the tone of voice that he was using?
I remember him saying things, you know, almost like, it was a pretty stern voice, but I can't really make out much. I mean, even the tone too much, to be honest. He was, because I was just so, like I said, it was like everything went blank, and I'm yelling at him. I'm like, get off the judge, you know? I'm so just focused on trying to just get him up, and it was just so unusual, and I just wasn't even really paying attention to anything that he was saying. As
you were trying to pull him up, what was he doing with his body?
Oh, he was just stuck to her. There was no getting him up. He was fighting tooth and nail. I'm trying my best to get him up, and he is just latched onto her. There is no getting this guy off of her. It was unbelievable. I mean, I actually remember saying to myself, like, I could not believe how strong Mr. Redden is. It was unbelievable. I mean, I could not. I'm just trying my best. I mean, I'm struggling to try to just get the guy up just a little bit. I mean, off judge, and he is just glued to her.
Where were your arms placed on Mr. Redden as you were trying to lift him off?
Yeah, so honestly, I was almost like kind of around him. I kind of grabbed his shoulders like this, kind of like, imagine this was his head. Not in like a choke hold or anything, but kind of like right underneath, and kind of grabbing him with this other arm and just trying to just lift him up. Anything I could do to just try to, you know, get him off the judge.
So your arms were wrapped around his chest area?
Almost, yeah, kind of like right here, almost like right below the neck area.
And he continued to go towards her and was refusing to let go?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Just kind of, like I said, just still with that kind of just death grip almost.
And you indicated previously that you, at the time that you were seeing this occur initially, you had the thought, oh my God, he's gonna kill her?
Yes, especially when I saw her hit the back of her skull on that tile. I absolutely thought he's gonna kill her.
When you observed his hand, I believe you indicated that it was between the shoulder and the neck area. Mm-hmm. Was she already on the ground at that point, or was that as he was kind of flying into her forcefully?
You know, right when he kind of did this, where his hands landed is almost where they stayed the entire time. So they kind of just like I said, kind of just latched on, and there was no letting go. So he kind of did twist her a little bit, and when they were on the floor, but they didn't really move much, the hands, and that's basically it.
Can you tell me when they were on the ground how they were positioned?
It kind of had changed. So, like I said, they were face to face. But then when I was trying to get him up, he kind of had gotten up a little bit. She was still kind of frozen, but he had his hands right on her hair, and still in that like neck area. He's got long arms, so he's kind of holding her like this. I'm trying to get him up, and he's just relentless, trying to just get back at her. And they'd kind of just changed positions a little bit, depending on kind of just wrestling with me also as well. They kind of started out like this, but that only had lasted just momentarily. He was still saying things to her, but she had kind of, like I said, was just kind of frozen a little bit, and there's just a little bit of like wrestling going on almost. But those hands stayed kind of where they were.
Was he directly on top of her? Was he next to her?
At first, he was on top of her, and then as I was kind of pulling him off, and then especially when the CO came, he'd kind of gotten up a little bit and kind of maneuvered his body, but the kind of hands stayed in place.
When you say that he'd kind of gotten up a bit.
All right, let's bring in our guest, still with us, trial attorney Alexis Rosenberg. Alexis, Michael Lasso, law clerk here, providing a lot of important details for the state that really Judge Holthus couldn't provide because she was the one sort of being attacked and she couldn't remember everything that was going on. But he's providing some pretty good detail.
Well, first of all, he's reminding me of a character out of a movie that I can't put my finger on, but he is. But one of the problems that I'm seeing, he does seem a little detached. It's almost like he's in a bar and he's having a conversation with some friends telling like what happened. So I don't know how it's being taken by the jury, as well as something he keeps saying honestly. And at least for me as a trial attorney, whenever I have a client or somebody saying honestly, it always raises red flags as to whether that's a tell that they're not being honest, but I don't know if the jury is perceiving that.
Yeah, and he tends to use it, Alexis, and I put down a few of the buzzwords. He keeps using them, like, he had a death grip, right? And he talks about him being relentless. He was clamped onto her. He had incredible strength. I mean, all these things seem a bit over the top, and he's using, honestly, he had incredible strength. He's using them in conjunction with them, and I'm wondering, again, if that's affecting his credibility at all.
I think it is, because it just seems, like I said, that he's telling this story to his friends. There's not emotion attached to it. It seems almost like he is enamored of the fact that he was present when this happened. I don't think he, by any means, wanted the judge to be harmed, but it's exciting that he was there when this viral video actually took place. So I think that may have a negative effect on the jury, totally different from the judge where we actually saw the emotion.
Well, you have to say, though, once he testified to the fact that he was hitting her head against that marble wall, and you're talking about, again, in his own mind, he said, I was thinking that he was going to kill Judge Holthus. I mean, all those things really continue to make it very difficult for the defense.
Oh, well, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, that's what they have to prove, and he's basically saying it. It's basically what she said as well. All right, Alexis Rosenberg, thank you for being with us, but I understand you're going to be sticking around for our next hour because we got a special hour coming up in our coverage in this case, so thank you for that. Folks, coming up next, we're going to continue our special coverage in the Judge Jumper attempted murder trial in Las Vegas, so please keep it here on Court TV, folks. Your front row seat to justice.